In Mali, Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India will make his first ever visit to the tropical island nation of Maldives for the swearing-in of its new president amid ongoing rivalry between New Delhi and Beijing for influence in the Indian Ocean. The Saturday visit, the first pan-Indian head of the state since 2011, is expected to reset the strained ties with Maldives as Ibrahim Mohamed Solih, a veteran opposition politician, takes over after successfully outsitting the former pro-China president Abdulla Yameen. Solih's new government is expected to end the political uncertainty in the South Asian archipelago nation that preceded a tense election this September. The former President Yameen had locked away opposition figures and judges amid international condemnations, including the unusually strident comments from India. Yameen had also taken numerous loans from China that pushed the country into debt, like other countries in the region including Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Solih's Maldivian Democratic Party had taken an anti-China stance. India is in the position to gain some large grounds in Maldives, said K. Yaham, who specializes in India's neighborhood at the New Delhi-based Observer Research Foundation. The fact that the Prime Minister Modi had agreed to attend the swearing-in sends a message that India supports the new government, though it remains to be seen how Solih continues his posturing after the elections. Solih's triumph in the Maldives contrasts with the political turmoil in Sri Lanka, where the president had tried to unilaterally sack his Prime Minister Vikramasinghe and appoint the country's former pro-China strong leader Mahinda Rajapaksa in his place. That move, which appears uncertain amid a parliamentary oath and political upheaval earlier this week, was similarly condemned by the nations including the US. Modi's trip comes amid a broader push by the US, India, Japan and Australia, which have struck a new partnership known as the Quad, or the Quadrilateral meeting which held in Singapore, to counter China's cash infrastructure lending into the region. So what do you think of Modi's maiden Maldives visit trip signaling support for Solih's government? Does this mean India has got the whole Maldivian under its control, including the Indian Ocean, as always, or this may be the start that it may push again to China with the Maldivian present president? In New Delhi, the US has broadly agreed to grant India a waiver from Iran sanctions which would allow Indian oil companies to continue to import about 1.25 million tons of oil a month till March from Tehran. A source familiar with the matter said, adding that an official announcement could come over the next few days. The US plans to reimpose the oil-related sanctions on Iran on November 4th of 2018 to choke the Islamic Republic's biggest source of income and pressure it to renegotiate a new nuclear deal. Any country or company trading with Iran without US consent after sanction kickoff risks getting out and cut off from the American financial system. The US has insisted all along that it wanted everyone to reduce oil imports from Iran to zero eventually, but was open to country-specific waivers that would allow limited imports by those pledging significant cut. India and other key importing countries have been engaged for months with the US for a waiver. India and US have broadly agreed on a waiver. India will cut import by a third, which is significant cut, said some sources. India had imported about 22 million tons of crude oil from Iran in 2017 to 18 and planned to raise that to be about 30 million tons in 2018 to 19. But as a condition of waiver, Indian oil firms will reduce their imports significantly, the source said. Indian companies can import 1.25 million tons a month up to March 2019, the same as they have ordered for October and November, the source said. The state oil firm are yet to decide on how this quantum will be split between them. A waiver will come as a big relief to Indian oil companies and MRPL, the two largest Iranian oil consumers. how companies will pay for Iranian oil is still being negotiated between India and Iran, adding that it is likely that the two countries will stick to its existing mechanism under which 55% of the payment is made in euro and 45% in rupee through UCO Bank. Under this, rupee is used for import of rice, drugs and other products from India, while the balance proceeds in rupee, and euros sit idle in the Indian bank waiting for sanctions to go. The Indian side, while building its case for waiver, assured the US that this payment mechanism ensures Iran can't use oil money from India for any terror-related activity, a key American concern said. During the negotiation, India also told the US that it would like to import more American oil if it came on a competitive terms, said source. India and Iran still have to figure out the shipping and the insurance details for smooth trade. Currently, Iran provides its tanker as well as the insurance for oil cargoes to India. The US sanctions have driven away Indian and the international shippers and insurers from extending their services for Iranian oil imports. So what do you think of US agrees to grant India waiver from Iranian oil sanction? Will this be a good start for India from importing oil from Iran, or India is bowing to US on other imports and the exports? India can seize the opportunity to provide an alternative investment hub for American companies which are downgrading their operation in China. US Ambassador Kenny Jester said on Thursday, while he pitched for bilateral FTA as the next big-ticket item. Delivering his first policy speech since taking over as the ambassador to India, Jester identified 5 pillars to take Indo-US partnership forward: stronger defense ties, strategic economic relationships, energy environment, inclusive development and cooperation in the region. US Envoy in particularly emphasized on its India's role into Indo-Pacific region and opportunities in the economic partnership. India needs to take a strategic view of the economic relationship so as a roadmap for FTA could be laid. On pointing out America's first and Make in India are not incompatible, Justice said rather than investing in each other's market will be mutually beneficial. It will increase economic interactions and volume of trade, lead to the collaboration on emerging technologies and create jobs in both the countries, he noted. But let me go through further and suggest that this is the time to put a strategic lens in our or on our economic relationship, just we have done with our defense relationship, he said. The speech was organized by the Canaries India, the India chapter of noted US think tank. Chester informed that a number of US companies have reported increasingly difficulties in conducting businesses in the large market in the region as is China. Accordingly, some companies are downgrading their operations there, while others are looking with great interest at the alternative markets. India can seize the strategic opportunity through trade and investment to become an alternative hub for US business in the Indo-Pacific region. Bilateral trade has increased from approximately $20 billion in 2001 to $115 billion in 2016. The US Envoy, however, expressed the concerns about the persistent state deficits, including the one the US has with India. He said the US want to work with India to expeditiously resolve the trade and investment dispute. Referring to the defense ties, Justice said, perhaps in the next year we can announce some major agreements like the fighter jets, advanced helicopters, unmanned ground vehicles, and intelligence exchanges. He in fact suggested taking Indo-US military cooperations to entirely to a new level, reciprocally posting liaisons officers at each other's operational or combat commands. When asked about the Sina-US ties, Justin noted, "We are interested in a constructive relationship, but if they engage in the predatory economic policies and other things, there would be no reactions, or will be reactions." So what do you think of US putting India ahead of China, and US wants India to take the opportunity to avoid China out of the world of US? Post your comments below, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and follow us on social networks and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching. This is WC Daily. Think big, think different. Bye.